Just when you thought things were on the up following its approved restructuring plan, KTM has reportedly been hit with another blow as its motorcycle production has been paused just weeks after restarting. Obviously, this is due to the financial crisis they were in. That is no surprise. If you don't know or haven't heard about this, you must have been living under a rock. But production restarted just last month after its creditors approved its restructuring plan at the end of February, meaning they could restart. But the roadblock now is a lack of parts. Apparently, when they restarted production, they had enough for 4,200 motorcycles. Sounds like a lot when you really think about it, but when you're making how many are, whatever they are a day, apparently that didn't last very long. And a big part of this is because, well, they went through the whole financial problem. And during those 3 months, no parts were ordered. Kind of makes sense. If you had no money, you can't buy anything from anybody. Or if you do, they're probably not going to send it to you because, well, everyone in the world knew that they have no money. And another side of this is apparently some parts or some producers have stopped altogether making parts for KTM, which on their side of things, probably not that surprising. Here's a company that probably screwed them out of a lot of money. Like, obviously, the restructuring plan is either going to be far less of what they owed, and people who made them parts, helped in production, whatever they did, are either going to get screwed on the money side or are not going to see the money that they're owed for years. And it kind of makes sense. If you're a company who's making bike parts, if you're a company who's making any piece to this, and they're going to tell you, oh, well, yeah, you might see some of this, who knows when, you've got bills to pay, you've got employees, you've got costs, and these guys are just saying, sorry, we've got our own problems, we'll throw it down the line to you. And, well, that sucks. Now, apparently, the latest roadblock, which means they won't pick up production again until the 27th of July. So you've got all of May, June, and then let's be honest, if it's the 27th of July, that's all of July. There's 3 months of no work. So any of the KTM employees, sucks for them because obviously a bunch got let go because of this restructuring. They weren't paid in December, if I'm correct about something like that. And now you've got another 3 month break. Like, I don't know how you're an employee for this company and how you can continue to work there or not work there. I don't know how you want to word it because, I mean, how are you going months on end without any income? I mean, to me, it doesn't make sense how this brand is going to continue. I mean, it looked good with the restructuring plan in place, all the, money and everything kind of figured out. Um, it looked like they kind of had a little light at the end of the tunnel. And now it looks like that light is getting either smaller or farther away. Uh, it's not a funny thing, but it kind of is. I mean, the CEO, Gottfried Neumeister, told employees, quote, due to serious supply chain problems, it is impossible to continue production as planned. Stocks were only sufficient for around 4,200 motorcycles, and now there is a shortage of essential components. Production in, oh boy, Matagofen, that's probably butchered, I'm sorry, will therefore be suspended until the 27th of July. Now, I mean, this is just, it looks bad again. I mean, obviously, when this whole thing started out, there was cuts to employees, there was cuts to racing. KTM America, as far as I know, have said they're perfectly fine and they're continuing as is. But I mean, if your head brand or however you want to call it, the tip of the spear is having problems, it's going to eventually trickle down. Um, you look at that guy right there, Chase Sexton, rumored to be going to Kawasaki. Now, could this be a wholly monetary problem or thought for him, thinking maybe this isn't going to work out? Maybe they're not going to fix all the problems, and I don't want to be around when the shit hits the fan. I mean, if he signs a big contract for them and, next year it falls through, then he's going to be kind of screwed. I mean, obviously there might be a team who could pick him up, mid-season or add another bike, but it's still going to be the the worry over every single week, every single race. And one, especially, can they get parts? You know, if you're sitting there talking about like the production for motorcycles, obviously this is road bikes. I'm assuming, you know, it's road bikes, it's off-road bikes, it's everything. But if you're a race team, you know, what if you need a KTM specific part? And you're sitting there and they're saying, "Hey, we can't get parts for 3 months." Well, if you're a race team, that can't work. You can't have a shortage of parts. If something breaks, you have to be able to get it. And I guess technically you could just start making your own trick parts. You can all make, you know, everything you need in-house. But at that point, you're not a KTM bike, you're your own manufacturer. And I mean, a lot of these guys, even though they are big money teams, don't have the money to be a manufacturer. You know, they don't have the money to build and produce every single piece needed. So this is big. I mean, obviously, we're talking, what was it? $2 billion or something like that. It's a huge amount of money. What is it? KTM's parent company, Pierre Mobility, faces a financial gap of around 600 million euros. I don't know what it is. And that needs to be paid by May 23rd. So if they're not building bikes and they're not selling bikes, or if they can't build bikes to sell, let's put it that way, how are you going to make up the gap in money? I mean, it's going to have to come from investors. There's no income from that. Um, Obviously, there's got to be stock somewhere, but it's just, this is massive. I mean, KTM is a huge brand, and from this also, they're not going to be uh, handling the distribution of the CF Moto bikes in Europe. So it's only they're, you know, consolidating themselves. We are KTM, Gas, and Husqvarna. You know, that's their umbrella, I guess you'd want to call it. And I mean, this is huge. It's a huge brand. They do a ton of racing. You think MotoGP, all of the Supercross, Motocross, MXGP, Dakar, you know, there is a ton of this. And if you're dropping one name brand, there's going to be a ton of employees, just on the production side, but also on the team side of thing. That's mechanics, that's riders, that's, you know, PR people, everyone that's involved. But there's a ton of people who are going to lose money and jobs out of this. And I don't know. Maybe they'll figure it out. Maybe this is just another little roadblock, but you're talking hundreds of millions of dollars and people are already running scared from you, and you're having another problem. You're probably going to see more people run scared. But I don't know. That's where I'm going to leave you guys. Comment down below. Tell me what you think. Are they going to belly up like a goldfish, or are they going to figure it out? Whatever it is, comment down below. Tell me what you think. While you're down there, make sure to like, share, subscribe. Do all the fun things this platform allows you to do, because it really just helped me out. I appreciate it. And with that, I'll see you later. Peace.